Thank you for tuning in to RTM Nation Online, where we believe that you will receive the abundance of peace, prosperity, security, stability, health, healing, and truth. If you would like to learn more about the ministry, click the link below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the message.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have an interesting time today. You probably are wondering, for those that can see, what I'm doing here with a shopping cart. But that's okay. That's okay. That'll become evident. Let me see how heavy this is, because if it's heavy, I can't take it down. All right. But that shopping cart will become evident in a minute. Now, y'all do know, over Memorial Day, my wife and I had a little beach getaway. Had a little beach getaway, trying to keep it spicy. You know how I do. You know how I do. So, in doing so, I want you to know this is us on the beach. We had a beach getaway, and that's me taking a picture of Greta when she doesn't know I'm taking a picture. But now, when she knows I'm taking a picture, we get this. Get the next picture. We get that kind of activity going on. Just hamming it up all in front of the camera. Well, why do I bring that up? Because during this getaway, some things happened, and they made me, with doing the whole thing with the shopping cart, it made me remember this thing, so I want to share this with you. During the getaway, I don't know how it happens, we go to a beach getaway. How my wife still gets me into a store, I have no idea. There's no stores on the beach, but we still always end up in a store. So we go to this particular store, and while we're in the store, I'm pushing the buggy, and Greta's, with me. But as I'm pushing the buggy around, an older gentleman comes, and he looks at Greta and he says, "Boy, you sure do got him trained pretty well." And so at first, I'm like, because it's just a whole thing going on there. I'm like, what you mean by that? But I didn't say nothing, but I'm like, kind of like taken aback. My wife looks at him and says, "Well, it took some time, but yeah." So I'm like, what's that all about? No, we're in the same store, and now we're going to the register. But this time, Greta's pushing the buggy. I don't know how the exchange happened, but she ended up pushing the buggy. Run into that same man. He's an elderly gentleman. That same man, this time he got his wife with him. He looks at Greta, he says, "What happened? What happened? You pushing the cart." Now the wife comes in, taps Greta on the shoulder, talking about, "Let me tell you what to do, honey, from years of experience." Like, what's going on with this? From years of experience. You see, when you go into the register, what you do is you tell him you got to go to the restroom, so that way he have to pay. What does my wife say? She don't even miss a beat. She tell the lady, "Oh, he paying. I ain't got to do all that. He gonna pay." And I'm sitting in my mind like, yes, I am. I'm paying right now, as a matter of fact. But yeah, this buggy prop is gonna come in handy. That just reminded me of the, once again, as I put it, the lovely woman I'm blessed to live with. You're welcome. Family, we live in a world of variety. If you've never taken the time to just sit back and look at all of what God's created, you're missing out. God obviously loves diversity. From every creature to the different hues of color, the different textures, our God is unmatched in the way he can bring forth variety. And that variety also includes, well, his greatest handiwork, us, people, the human species. As humans, we have a lot of variation, a whole sea of variation. It's not just the quick stuff that you pick up, like we have different skin colors. But if you really examine us close, we got different hair textures, we got different heights, different weights, different feelings, different moods. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's those differences that kind of made us say, you know what, when two people get together, their relationship is very unique. Not just simply unique, but it becomes its own living and breathing organism in and of itself. Even though in a relationship that you're having, in a relationship that I'm having, we, in our relationship, we are the common element. If you are in a relationship with one person and then person A and then person B, in relationship A and B, you're the common element. But no two of your relationships are ever the same. Because even though you're the common one, once you switch out any person, that relationship becomes different. We have made it to our final common sense session. What you say? We've made it. We've made it. Now, I'm not saying that we'll never come back to it. And you know, the Smith-isms never end. They're a part of who I am. They're a part of my life. So you'll always get things like that, the little phrases that kind of, you know, a Smith family sayings that hopefully make sense and causes things to stick. So that'll always be there. But this last session is something that I saved for the end on purpose. It's personal. And I pray that it's personal, though, in a fun way, in a good way, in a way that has you leaving here saying, I'm going to do something about that. When we talk about each other as people, we say that the common element in all of our relationships is us. Here's the reality. For people to have any chance of building a bond with you, you have to take seriously your management of your physical man. Logically speaking, no person can build a relationship with you if you are not here. And by here, I mean alive. All of our talk about relationships, all of our talk about being stable, all of our talk about anything does no good if you personally are not here. Turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19 in the Amplified Classic Bible. Off and on for the past 12 months, we have talked to everyone, we've encouraged everyone to take seriously your physical health. We've talked about SMART goals. We've talked about making sure that you do all those things necessary to be around for the ones that you love. The Bible states clearly here that as believers, our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. It reads, do you not know that your body is the temple, the very sanctuary of the Holy Spirit who lives within you, whom you have received as a gift from God? You are not your own. You are not your own. As believers, we adore that phrase. You are not your own. We take great pride in the fact that we belong to God. But if we're not careful, we can dismiss the truth that our bodies are ours to direct. You've heard it stated this way: God loves us enough to give us the freedom to choose. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 is telling us that we need to make sure that we guide our lives in such a manner that we don't do things with this body that's displeasing to God. In other words, the Bible is telling you to manage you. The Holy Spirit indeed is there to assist us, but we must put our own lifestyles in check. Here is your common sense Smithism statement for today. You are not your own, but you are yours to own. You're not your own, but you are yours to own. Turn to Haggai chapter 1. I want to be reading this out of the Voice version of the Bible. And we have today brought that version so we can put it up on the screen so you can read it with me. Haggai is basically being told by God, I am not happy that my people are not keeping up my temple right. In this version, there are some things in the parentheticals where they define whose son is who. I'm not going to read that part. I'm just going to read the other part. Starting off in verse 1. On the first day of the 6th month, during the 2nd year, King Darius reigned over the Persian Empire, the prophet named Haggai gave a message from the Eternal One to the men named Zerubbabel and Joshua. This is what the Eternal, the commander of the heavenly armies, who is more powerful even than the king, had to say. These people living in Jerusalem say it's not yet the right time for them to rebuild the temple, the place where the Eternal One dwells. The prophet Haggai gave a message from the Eternal. Do you think the time is right for you to live in secure and lavishly covered homes when my house still lies in a heap of rubble? Think very carefully about your choices. Say this with me. I always have a choice. You have planted a large crop, but your harvest is small. You have food to eat, but it is never enough to satisfy. You have something to drink, but you are never filled. You have clothes to wear, but they are not enough to keep you warm. You earn a salary, but the money runs out quickly, as if there were holes in your pocket. Think very carefully about your choices. Family, life is full of choices. Life is full of choices. Life gives you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to make a choice. We are always making a choice. Figuratively speaking, we are lifelong shoppers. It's like we walk around this life pushing a shopping cart. As we push this shopping cart, every single day that you wake up and you open your eyes, you have that cart. Now, you may not physically see the cart, but you need to know that the cart is always there. You're always in position to make a choice and put something in your basket. Let me give you some visuals of that. When you walk into a car dealership, this is how they see you. They see you as a shopper. You are there to make a choice. And it is that salesperson's job to make sure that you leave there with your basket full. Every person who's ever been in a relationship, whether they're dating, whether they're courting, or whether they're married, they got together because at some point in time, somebody went into shopping mode. Somebody made the decision that that person need to be in my cart. take this scenario. A woman is in an airport, sitting, waiting for her flight. Off at the distance, she sees a man of interest getting a coffee. Now, if that woman gets up and she walks towards that man, no matter how unassuming her actions look, make no mistake about it, she is coming his way, pushing a cart. She's working it. You know the walk. I'm like, where did all that come from? And no matter, family, no matter the fact that we know for certain that that man is physically standing in an airport, the moment she locks her eyes on him, he just became the product on aisle 3. She's shopping. She's wanting to make the choice of whether or not he should be in her cart. Look, Greta put me in the cart. Just snatch a brother up. Let me tell you, and I know that I say that as a joke, but the reality is, if she was going through this process with me, I would never have known it. Because I am of the firm belief, I've seen enough, that women are far much more better relational shoppers than men ever could be. A woman who's on a mission, a woman who has her eyes set on a man, she's like 3 steps ahead of that guy. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but she's savvy, she's calculated. She's smooth. He don't even see it coming. He just caught. And get this, she will even allow him to think that he is in control of the pace of that relationship. You see, Mr. Man think they just dating. He just don't know he done been shopped. He done been shopped. He's in the cart. Now his boys can see it. They can see it clearly, and they will tell him, bruh, you gone. She got your nose wide open. He'll go through his paces. He'll deny it. He'll deny it with all his breath and all his strength. But what he can't see that they can see is not only do she have him in the cart, she done checked out. She done bagged him up. And she on her way to the car with him in the buggy. Because this is the way we go through life. We're always making choices, taking things off of the shelf, looking at them, seeing whether or not we want that to be a part of our life. And we're not just talking about, specific type of product things. It's everything. Some things that we pick up are good. They are good friendships, for example. There's a good things we put in our cart. Some things are not so good. They're negative. Toxic relationships, things that are not good for us, just toxic. Unforgiveness, we can put in our cart and push it around for the rest of our life. All of those things that we put in our cart are things that we pick up, things that we decide to do. Listen to this. We all push our carts through life as we make choices, but we need to be very careful and very selective of the choices that we make. Because the choices that we make, the things that we put in our basket, those things will affect our happiness, our peace of mind, our stress levels, and so on. In talking about relationships, there are times that, quite frankly, a man or a woman might put their mate-to-be in their basket and not realize that more than that person went in the basket. They came with baggage. They're taking up a lot more space in that basket than your glossed over eyes are seeing. We need to be wiser shoppers. We need to pay more attention to everything that's attached to everything that we put in our baskets. When we say the things we put in our baskets affect our happiness, our stress levels, and our peace of mind, this means that in some form or some fashion, whatever you're selecting to go in your basket is having some effect on your physical body. Therefore, the hope is that we make choices that promote our health and longevity. Say this with me. I am not my own, but I am mine to own. That is, I take seriously my responsibility to take care of myself because there's only one me. There's only one you. There's only one you. If you don't become more selective in the things that you do and more selective with the things that you do that affect your body, people cannot have a relationship with you if you are not here. Return to Haggai 1. Directing our thoughts more specifically to our bodies. Verse 8 says, go up to the mountains, God's still talking, and bring down trees to make lumber and build my house. Do this so I may take pleasure in it and be honored by it. In other words, stop what you're doing and take some time to focus on the temple. Verse 9, you expect it to be well rewarded for all that hard work, but as you see, you are getting back almost nothing. As you have brought in prophets, I've blown them away. Why? I, the eternal commander of the heavenly armies, will tell you why. My house has remained in ruins while each of you has been chasing after your own concerns. This is why heaven above you has held back the dew and the earth has refused to produce products. In this chapter, the people are continuing to not see the benefits of the fruits of their work because they are neglecting the temple. Likewise, family, when you go through this life chasing after whatever you deem means to be a success, but you are not properly maintaining your temple, you're putting yourself in a dire position. Many people put their efforts into being successful up front at the expense of maintaining their temple. Sadly, some of them realized too late that if they had put as a primary goal the focus of taking care of their temple, all of those things they looked to get in this world would have been more enjoyable. We told you last time a phrase. That phrase was care reflects care. That phrase goes far beyond your relationships. Care reflects care goes to anything that you have in this life that you take of value. For example, if a person has a car and they value that car, there are certain things that you will see that they do in caring for that car that will make it evident that they care. What do? They wash it. They keep it clean. They maintain it. change the oil. All those things go on because they value it. The same is true with somebody's home. If you have a person that values where they stay, if they really value where they stay, they keep it up well. It ain't just all just junked over. Why? Because when they say they value something, the care they say they have for it shows up in something that they do that shows that they care. Now, you've heard people say this, that your house is your most valuable possession. My response to that is no, it is not. Your house is not your most valued possession. You are your most valued possession. No matter where you live, no matter what some appraiser has given you as the worth of your property, that appraised value pales in comparison to the worth that you are. You are far more valuable than any kind of material item. I don't care what kind of car you want to drive, what mode of transportation you want. It can be a luxury car. It can be a high-tech vehicle. You might want a private plane. Whatever your chariot choice is, that machine carries a cargo at all times that has a value that's far above the price tag of that machine because it carries you, and you are priceless. It is you who needs your care. It is you that needs your focus, not things. When you think about people putting their focus on things, here's what I believe. Too often, we fail to make the connection, follow me close, between living to acquire the things that we like and being alive to enjoy the things that we have acquired that we like. Sometimes people fail to make the connection and simply working to get the things that they like and being around to be able to enjoy the things they have acquired that they like. Whether it is a material item or a treasured relationship, you have to be around to enjoy them. Once again, there is only one you. Now, I'm getting ready to give you some basic items. 9 basic items. I have, since April of 2018, so for over a year, I have been looking into things that professionals believe help bring longevity and health to your life. And I have sifted and sifted volumes of notes and materials down to what I've found to be 9 basic messages or 9 basic themes. And it is my hope that these themes, these messages, at least one of them resonates enough to you that it causes you to get in the position to where you are serious about taking care of you. I want you to know, you can bring that first page up for me, sir. I want you to know that this is just not basic internet searches. I've gone through credible sources, educational, research universities, Harvard, University of Florida, volumes and volumes of material, and I have sifted that thing down to some very specific things. Since we say our body is a temple, we will do ourselves good to keep ourselves healthy and to develop longevity by doing these 9 things. Item number 1. They all said, don't smoke. They said don't smoke. Smoking is an addictive, nasty habit that is not good for you. Don't do it. If you want to be around for those that you love, don't do it. If you need a motivation, find one, but don't do it. They all said, do not smoke. I was surprised that I didn't find more on drug addiction and alcoholism, and there was material out there, but everybody, don't smoke. The second one, they say stay physically active. And there are so many opportunities that we have in life to stay physically active. Some of the things we don't even think about. Whenever we talk about being physically active, we always have our minds that rush to the gym. But you can do a lot of stuff to stay physically active. You know what? Being physically active starts with you getting out, getting up and getting out. Don't be a homebody. Don't be a hermit. What, you scared of the sun? Get out. Get up and get out. Volunteer at a hospital. Volunteer at some local organization of your choice. Volunteer here at church. Get up and get out. Another thing about staying physically active, and this is for, and I'm almost to the point where I can say us older folk. But I ain't gonna say that. I'm there. She say I'm there. As you get older, unanimously, people were saying that you should add to your daily regimen stretching. Because as you age, you lose flexibility. And if you let your flexibility go, you get stiff. So stay active. Number 3, maintain a healthy weight and body shape. I'm going to read you Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2 out of the King James Version. If you have it, look it up. You don't have to put it on the screen. Keep that on the screen for me, sir. It says, you've heard it before. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world. That's the part we want to talk about. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. The world will give you images of what your ideal weight and body type are supposed to be. You don't take that necessarily as your guide. You find out what your ideal weight and body type is for you. Don't be restricted because of something you've seen on TV, because of something you've seen on the internet, because something you've seen in print that says this is how you're supposed to look, this is how you're supposed to be, this is your body shape that's ideal. You learn about you. When we talk about your ideal weight and body shape, that means that you do have to put yourself in the position to where as you consume calories, you should be burning calories. And once again, burning calories aren't just getting up and going to the gym. They can be some very, very basic things, such as taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Just some common sense tips for you. Parking farther from the store. Look, when I go out to the store with Greta, she want to park in the store if she can help it. That woman didn't have me circling out there like a buzzard. I'm like, girl, can't we just park somewhere? Somebody gonna move, she say. Sweetheart, we could be half done by we're shopping by now. But it's okay to park a little farther. Why? Because that's extra steps for you. You can bike within your community instead of driving everywhere. You can walk in your community instead of driving everywhere. If it's practical, you can get off the bus one stop early. Now, I'm not saying if you go into Temple Terrace that you need to get off in Carrollwood. I say if it's practical, meaning a couple of blocks ahead. I don't want nobody getting heat stroke because they're trying to walk home in some heels or something crazy. Also, in maintaining a healthy weight and body shape, we need to know that that's just not about the particular type of foods that you eat. And we're going to talk about that. But it also involves portion control. Say portion control. Portion control. In our country, in our society, we are conditioned to eat large portions. We are conditioned to eat large portions, and we are also, family, conditioned to eat what is convenient. And what is convenient is not always the healthiest option. When we say we are conditioned to eat, it is that time that you are in your car and you see that marquee, you know what I'm saying, for that donut that you like, and you got to get one. You see that billboard for that milkshake that's got the right amount of sprinkle and the right amount of candy chips in it, and you know what? You got to go pick up one. It is all the type of fast food, quick hit items that we've become conditioned to eat because we're craving the sugar, we're craving the taste, we're craving it. Why? Because we have been conditioned. Break the conditioning. Here's another tip that I found for maintaining the healthy body and shape and the weight and stuff. Eat slower. Say slower. Eat slower. Studies are showing that, or have shown, that a person that eats slower gives the brain time to say, I'm full. Therefore, if you eat slower, take the time to chew properly, take the time. Nobody's going to come snatch your plate. It ain't all going to be gone before you get some more. If you take the time to eat slower, that can actually promote a healthier weight. One more tip. This one's going to hurt. Under the healthy weight and the shape and all that, they say, at a certain time, shut the kitchen down. Shut it down. One of the articles actually said, I thought it was extreme. They say if you have to, put crime tape around your kitchen. I laughed too, boy. I was cracking up. I was like, boy, that seems kind of radical. But then those words came back to my head. There's only one you. So if radical is what you got to be to take care of you and make sure that you are healthy and whole and have longevity in this life, then radical is what you got to be. Number 4, stay mentally active. Challenge your mind. We need to be ever learning. Read a book. Don't just let everything come to you virtually by some video. Don't always be the person that's getting fed information like you're sitting back as a 1-year-old getting food given to you by your parent. Take a class. Go back to school. Study something. Learn a new skill, a gift, a trade. be ever learning. Play mind games. The Scrabble and the crossword puzzle. Keep your mind fresh and sharp. Number 5, build a positive, strong social network. Build a network of support. And by network of support, I don't mean just anybody. You need a network of support of people that are going to support you in your health goals and not let you slack off when you get weak or tired. And when you establish that network, remember our saying, once you have a network, let the network work. You can't go shooting your network down when they put you in place. They're there to put you in place. At best, say, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Because they're doing the very job that they need to do to keep you in line. Number 6, do not ignore your body's signals. Your body likely gives off signals when there is something going on that it does not like. It likely gives you a palpitation. It makes you dizzy. You're sweating for no reason at all. It's an ache that didn't used to be there. Your body is likely giving off signals. It is your choice as to whether you want to pay attention to those signals and look into it. That's on you. Once more, that body may not be your own, but it is yours to own. Number 7, floss, brush, and maintain good dental hygiene. This one blew me away when I found it. Kept coming up. I'm like, you mean you got to do a good job at taking care of your grill? Yes. It blew me away. Out of all the things I expected to find, I didn't expect to find that. But what studies are showing is that when you don't have good dental hygiene, that it can cause medical issues in other places of your body because the bacteria in your mouth has easy access to your bloodstream. I was like, wow. I went and brushed. I made sure I'm on top of this thing. But it's sometimes, out of all of our efforts, it's the small things that we don't know. Number 8, get the right amount of sleep. I'm going to read you Psalm 127, verse 1 and 2 out of the Living Bible. It says, this in the King James, it would say something like, unless the Lord builds a house, he labors in vain that tries to build it, something like that. This says, unless the Lord builds a house, the builder's work is useless. It's useless. Unless the Lord protects a city, sentries do no good. It is senseless for you to work so hard from early morning until late at night, fearing you will starve to death. For God wants his loved ones to get their proper rest. God wants his loved ones to get their proper rest. Family, sleep is a big deal. It's a big deal. Now, I always believed that sleep was a big deal, but now I really know how much volume of information about sleep I unearthed just blew my mind. I know for a fact that sleep now is a big deal. When I found these many benefits from sleep, it blew me away. Here's what sleep does. Sleep helps your body repair itself. So if you are not getting the proper amount of sleep, and they said the proper amount of sleep, they usually put it at, you want to get like 8 hours. They said less or not the right amount of sleep is like 6 hours or less, okay? But your body repairs itself when you sleep. When you sleep, it aids in learning, memory retention, and day-to-day functioning. Anybody who's a teacher knows that. When you get those children in your class that don't have no sleep, ain't no telling what they're going to be like in your class. Why? Because sleep helps with memory retention. It helps with day-to-day functioning. It's sleep. Here's one that you probably didn't think of. I know I didn't. There is a connection between insufficient sleep and obesity. There are several studies that have linked insufficient sleep with a higher probability of gaining weight. They have found that people that have insufficient sleep, that don't sleep as much as they should, that those people have a higher body mass index than people who get the right amount of sleep. They have also linked sleep to the mechanisms that control your metabolism or regulate it and control or regulate your appetite. When you don't get enough sleep, here's what they found. Insufficient sleep promotes fat storage. It reduces the alerts to the brain that the person is full. It raises the chemical levels that increase appetite. It increases the consumption of sweets to achieve a quick energy boost. All that from lack of sleep. And number 9. Number 9 is eat healthy, ensuring the proper vitamin and mineral intake for your body. That means you want to choose foods wisely. Now, I have some things here that I brought in, some food items. And I'm going to take these off here and let you see them. But I want you to know that when we talk about food items, that there is a whole bunch of information out there about what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. And quite frankly, I'm going to tell you, it's so much information that I don't want us to be an information overload. If you're not careful and you listen to everything people say about what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, you will have your diet down to Ritz crackers and fresh air. You won't be eating nothing. Because they say, what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, it just be nothing. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to put, since it's your body, since you are the one that has to oversee you, not me, I am going to tell you that I am going to put that responsibility on you to determine what are the right intakes, the right vitamin intakes and whatnot for you. Now, that being said, yeah, y'all see all this stuff. That being said, I will share this with you. That through my research, there are some very specific things that I can say in general that you should keep an eye on. Here they are. You want to make sure that you try to focus on fresh fruits and veggies, that you focus on healthy fats, that you focus on lean meats, and that you watch your carb intake or carbohydrate intake. I have up here on this display some foods. And just to let you know what those foods are, I have a bag of kale greens. I have some bananas. I have an apple. I have a bell pepper. I have an avocado. So everything on this side of the table we can consider kind of in the healthy realm. On the other side, which I heard somebody say this is their side, we have strawberry soda. We have a package of cookies. We have some potato chips. And we have a bag of candy. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our cart and we're going to pretend that we're shopping. We're going to pretend that we're shopping. Now, you've heard it said before that the heart of the house is the kitchen. Now, the heart of the house may be the kitchen, but I like to say this, that the kitchen is the home of your heart. The kitchen is the home of your heart. What do we mean by that? I saw something pretty interesting. When I think about that you stock your kitchen with the different kind of foods that you have, I begin to realize that the food that you bring home is what's dictating a lot of times the condition of your health. I heard somebody say this once. I was on a health website. We were involved in a health activity that caused you to have to log your steps and all that kind of stuff. And I heard a gentleman say something on that website that absolutely, it resonated so much with me that it stuck that I just have to share it with you. Here's what he said. He said, if you take the time to look, here's what you will probably find. He said, 90% of your health is in the kitchen. 90% of your health is in the kitchen. I say, based on that eye-opening piece of information, that if you think about it, that means 90% of your health originates from your shopping cart. 90% of your health originates from what you bring home from the store. So here we have our shopping cart. And we're pushing. And as you're in the store, you see the candy. You see the chips, the cookies. You also see the bananas. You see them kale greens if you're a kale green person. Whatever comes home from the store, you bought it. That's a simple statement, but don't let that go over your head. I actually have been in the store with my wife, and she has told me, I got to get those cookies. Now this is back, she's doing good now. So I'm going to make sure I throw that out there because she's going to say, you said that? No, she's doing good now. But I told her, I said, baby, here's what I want you to do. You say you got to get them cookies, but let's do a test. Leave the cookies on the shelf, and if they jump in the basket, you can get them. Sounds funny, but no product that you bring from the store has ever jumped in your basket. You stopped saying that you had to get it. You stopped saying that you had to have it. You chose to have it. You put it in your basket. 90% of your health is in your kitchen from stuff you brought from the store. So if you say that I'm not doing X well and how you want to do because I keep eating these candies or these cookies or these chips, you the problem. You brought them home. Those chips didn't jump off the shelf and land in your basket and squeeze themselves between the mayonnaise and the butter. You selected one of these items, one or more of them, and Whatever condition your health is in, if those are influencing the health to be negative, you bought it. You put it in your own shopping cart. Nobody forced you to do it. And those items did not jump in there on their own. Can you get me my other pictures, please, sir? Why are we making this hard for ourselves? I don't know. Why do we have to make our health hard? I don't know. Knowing that everything that you bring in the house can either make or break your health should cause you to do something to make better choices, even when you go out to eat. When you're looking on that menu, you shopping. You're shopping. Let me show you something. This is a chicken salad. 630 calories before you put the dressing and stuff on it. But if you are on a 2,000 calorie diet, you can eat those 3 times. 3 times. Next picture. This is steak and mashed potatoes and broccoli. 670 calories. If you were on a 2,000 calorie diet, you could eat that 3 times. Go to the next one. Salmon. Now, I know there's butter and stuff on that potato, but just without the butter, both a potato and rice and broccoli, 1,000 calories. You can eat that twice if you're on a 2,000 calorie diet. But where are we going? Give me the next one, please. We have French fries, 245 calories. That's a restaurant serving. You have a cinnamon bun, one cinnamon bun, 850 calories. One. That cinnamon bun has more calories, bad calories, than at least 2 of these wholesome meals that you can eat 3 times a day. It is almost as much by itself as that where you have 2, I think there's 2 starches, and a vegetable and a meat. And let's talk about this big piece of chocolate cake. Over 2,000 calories. If you elect to eat that cake, that should be all you eat for the day. But that's not what we do. Why? Because we are conditioned to consume. That for us is dessert. So after we've eaten our 2,000, we eat for the next day too, except it's for the day, and we eat all that cake. That's not good for you. That's the numbers for themselves. That's not made up. Researched them myself. Down to how much is it in that rice. But because we are conditioned with the sugar and the fat and the grease and the convenience, we put our bodies in the position to be unhealthy instead of putting them in a position to be healthy. No one is telling you that you can't enjoy things. You need to treat yourself, but you can't call it a treat if you do it every day. It's not a treat if you do it every day. And I do recognize that not every food shopper, everyone is looking to get ready-made food, or anyone is looking to get a food they have to cook, that every shopper isn't going to a physical location, because the online shopping cart is always in play. It's always in play. It's so easy now to get stuff online. But when you think of the fact that 90% of your health is in your kitchen, the problem with online shopping, if you are not in control of your consumption habits, is that it can actually promote your vice, because it is so easy at a tap of a button, at a click of a screen, to have something delivered right to your door. or whatever the case may be, to have you order it, and then you just drive up and they put it right in your trunk. It's easy because you have your virtual assistant to simply say, hey, Alexa, please order me another gallon of that butter pecan ice cream. Hey, Google, please repeat that order for that double chocolate chunk chocolate chip cookie bag I got last week. Like you're hurting me over here, Pastor. But there's other vices. Hey Siri, get me another bottle of that Grey Goose vodka. Place that order right now. Order placed. The convenience of it coming directly to your door or being put right in your car can be a source of weakness if you don't have a control of your vice. Return to Haggai. Let's finish up. Haggai chapter 1, verse 11 through 15, the Voice version of the Bible. I caused the drought in both the fields and the hills. All the crops you tried to produce have been affected, including your grain, your new wine, and your oil. All have been damaged. Humanity, cattle, and everything you tried to produce yourself. Then Zerubbabel, Joshua, and all those who had returned obeyed the voice of the Eternal, their true God. They took seriously the message. I want you to take seriously this message. We tried to make it playful. We tried to make it fun. But I want you to take seriously this message. They took seriously the message brought by the prophet Haggai, believing he had been sent by the Eternal One, whom they worshiped and feared. On the 24th day of that 6th month was King Darius' second year. Haggai, the messenger of the Eternal One, received this new message from the Eternal and shared it with the people. I am with you. And the Eternal One rallied the spirit of Zerubbabel, the spirit of Joshua, and the spirit of all those who returned to Jerusalem, so that they came together and began to work on the house of their God, the eternal commander of the heavenly armies. You might say, I can't do this. You might say, this is too much information for me. I can't change the 90% of my kitchen so fast. I can't do that. I can't do this walking. I can't do these things. I believe that if you commit to taking care of your temple in honor of God, that he will rally your spirit to get it done. It said that he rallied the spirit of those men to take care of his temple. You have to remember that the greater one lives on the inside of you. And that if you commit to rally together to get your temple in order in honor of him, he will be there for you. Let's make this confession together. Say, the skin I'm in, is more than just flesh. It is the wrapping that surrounds a unique gift. My body is sacred. I do not allow it to be contaminated, abused, disrespected, or mistreated. I keep it holy. I keep it pure. I keep it healthy because it contains the real me. As a born-again believer, I've been bought with a price. And my body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. Thus, I will treasure and maintain it in a manner that reflects and honors the one who lives inside. My body is not my own, but it is mine to own. So I will own my body Because I recognize I get but one. And there can be no relationships with me if there is no me. Yes. No more basic and stronger common sense statement has ever been made. There can be no relationship with me if there is no me. That would bring to conclusion our common sense journey. After all of those discussions that we've had together, your common sense meter should be at or very near 10. You should be without excuse. All we have to do now is put it to work. Next week, we launch out on our new endeavor. It's going to be a good one. So I'll see you next time. Let's pray.
We pray that today's message was a blessing to you. If you would like to help us further expand the vision, simply text the word GiveRTM to the number 41444 or visit us online at www.revealingtruth.org. Now remember, Jesus loves you.